Hey everybody, welcome back. And looks like we're live and everything looks good. Round 2, this is my second live stream. First one I think went off pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. So we're ready to give this a second shot, round 2. And I'll also be going live next week, Monday through Friday. So feel free to join me, come back. If you discovered this video, do me a favor, let me know you found it. Give me a thumbs up down there in the comments. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say. A little about this live stream. We're going to be painting a piece, start to finish. Just a quick gestural drawing. We're going to try to accomplish it within an hour. And that is what we do here on Stinky Robot. My name is Michael Smell, and this is my gallery, my studio. So, welcome. I'll give it a minute here, see if anybody wants to join on or not. Again, this is my second live stream, so let me know how I'm doing. Now we're going to go ahead and probably just jump on in and we're going to start drawing. All right. We got the clock rolling now, so let's see what we can accomplish in an hour. So we are going to be using acrylic inks today with a couple of micron pens. So we're going to try to work quick, and we're going to try to work just gestural. Just kind of block any ideas really fast. Again, we only have 1 hour to complete an entire piece. And it may shock you, but Stinky Robot, I draw robots. So that's probably what I'll be working on today. But that doesn't mean that you have to draw robots. Hey W. I have no idea what this is going to look like. I'm kind of just jumping in and doing it straight from memory. So it may turn out amazing, and then it may turn out to be kind of one of those fail pieces, but you have to have as many fails as you have successes if you're ever going to get better. Hopefully you can see the sketch process a little bit better today. Yesterday's live stream, the lights were a little bright and makes it kind of hard to see the pencil sketching. That's something I'll have to work on. I'll check it out after I film this one and see if the lighting's a little better. If not, I may have to think of another source. You don't want to watch the first 10 minutes of the video, just a white piece of paper, and you can tell I'm doing something. Not it. Let's see here, that's not a bad shape. Give this a little bit of a punk feel. Robots and mohawks, how can you go wrong, right? Yeah, Sea Portal, I got a copy here waiting for you if you're interested in the Sea Portal. The original, huh? You just let me know. Let's see. And we'll just do a basic neck on this one. Where are we at time? 7 minutes? That's not too bad. Kind of shooting to have the sketches done within the first 10 to 15 minutes so I can have plenty of time for inking. One of these days I'll actually hit the hour goal. The goal is an hour, and I've done several tests of these, make sure I could complete them, and I've done yesterday's live stream, but still haven't actually hit an hour. Really seem to be hitting between hour 10, hour and 15. But we'll get there. Let's see, antenna or no antenna? Yeah, let's see the antenna off of this one. Nah, we need an antenna. Like, a little one off of here like this. There we go. I think both sides or one side? Yeah, one side. Yeah, I love Bender. Definitely a big fan of Futurama. But my favorite robots, probably more like the vintage tin toy robots, and big fan of like old sci-fi robots. Robbie the Robot's one of my favorite all-time robots. Like I just love that vintage 1920s, 1940s sci-fi robotic flair. I just love that. Lost in Space, and there's some of my favorites in here. These. These guys here. There's some. Oop, can't see my camera. These guys, yeah. Love these guys. I've got tons of them. Me and my son and my daughter collect them. We have a little family collection of vintage tin toy replicas. The old original ones, man, those are pretty pricey. I don't know if I'll number all my robots, but here for at least the first few, I will number this guy number 2, since just because it's maybe the first 10 live streams, I'll number them. Yeah, you should definitely join me. Would love to see you join me. I'm hoping to get a couple people together here and make some friends live streaming so we can all draw and sketch together and start a little community. Okay, I think we're just about, yeah, it looks pretty good. Might be just about done with him for now. Okay, not too bad. I think that'll be our sketch. Let's go ahead and we'll outline it before we move on. Now that's a little bit wide. Easy fix. Nice thing about going over these with acrylic inks here in a second is I can just paint right over the pen, and if I mess any areas up on the outlines, I can just easily correct it. And I can always use the excuse that these little sketches, they're quick and they're simple and they can be messy. Not a big deal. These are more conceptual than anything else. And you do enough of these and create one every day, or as I'm planning on, hopefully I will find some ideas and concepts that just pop out. I'm like, oh man, that's fantastic, and I'll use them in bigger, larger works. think this piece is going to be one of my hollow eyes. I may have a color, we'll see. Yeah, getting a little fat with that line. Okay, just about done the outlining here. We can start actually digging in. Start painting this sucker with a little bit of ink. And yeah, if you found this video and you like watching me work, I encourage everybody to tune in next time with a pencil or some pens or some paint, charcoals, whatever you got, whatever you want to use, and draw along with us. I encourage you to, draw and paint what you love to. It doesn't have to be robots by any means. That's just what I do and what I work on. So, big part of what I do does not need to be what you do. I encourage everybody to find their own voice, find their own artistic flair. All right. Not sure why, when it comes to numbering robots, I love drawing the number 2 and the number 5. Those seem to be my favorite 2 numbers to put on robots. They're just fun to draw. Sweet. So this part is not necessary to ink it first, because I'm going to end up having to do it all over again a second time once I get the color in. But one thing I noticed yesterday after I finished my video up is when I went pencil straight to the acrylic inks, started paint washing, you guys at home made it real hard for you to see the lines I was following. They all kind of just disappeared. So this time around, we're going to try a little bit different. I'll add the outline in, which a lot of this will get washed away. Again, when I put the acrylic inks in. Not the end of the world though. Well, there it is. There's today's little robot we're drawing. All right, what colors? A little yellow, a little yellow, a little green. Let's start with those two colors in the background. So I always like to work with the background first. I'm gonna build just a quick wash background. Again, these are gestural and all in within an hour time frame, and we're sitting at 20 minutes, so we can't spend forever in a day on the backgrounds. They tend to be a little more just white water washed and a bit abstract, but that's just fine. Let me get my big brush here. I'm gonna pre-wet it a little bit. And do me a favor, if you have discovered this video and you're giving me a watch for the first time, please definitely hit that like button down below. Let me know you found my channel. Now, it'd be really cool if you decided to subscribe as well. Believe me, I'm not going to stop you. Still working out exactly what time I'm going to be going live. Any suggestions is just fine. You're welcome to make those in the comments. But I will plan on going initially, yeah, probably Monday through Friday. I'm going to try to get 5 days a week in. Still kind of playing on the times, and I may, at least in the beginning a little bit, do a little bit of, I'm kind of on the fence of doing 3 days in the morning and 2 days in the evening, just to see what time people are preferring. And so if you have a preference, do you like the morning, do you like the evenings, let me know. I think I'm definitely trying to do both, just so that people have work schedules, and I understand that. I don't think I'm gonna go too crazy in this background. I think I'm just gonna really wash it real light. I mean, the idea really is just give it a little pop of color. Let's see, what color should we add? Keep my colors up here so I know which ones I'm using. Just a little bit of dark umber just to kind of stain it up a little bit. I don't really want to go crazy. I don't want to go too crazy with it. A little bit of, looks a little different. Not sure where I'm going with that. That's all right. That's the fun. You need to know where you're going, right? Now, something I just love doing on all these, just add a little something, just give a little bit of, drop some random ink in there. Give it some real splotchy right in there. And make a royal mess all over my table. All right, let's clean some of this up. He doesn't need to have that much in him. These smears will be just fine in there, so not too concerned. That's character. Let's just rub it in there a little bit. Why not? With this stuff, you can just be loose. Just let yourself be loose. Get it nice and watery. Nice and wet. There we go. And I think we're gonna take some of this dark brown. We're just gonna splat it in there good. A little more brown. Okay. Maybe a little yellow too. Again, these backgrounds, I'm just making color. I'm making splashes. That's really all I'm doing. Clean up my table here a little bit. Oh. All right, let's put this little blow dryer in action. There we go. All right, let's see. I don't use this often, but we're going to use, So I've got these glitter inks, and I'm not sure how I feel about them. In some regards, they look nice, but I don't know, glitter. Maybe not this time around. Let me know what you think. You like glitter in your artwork or not? Dark green. Yeah. bit of, you should probably be getting my colors out here that I'm using. No, we'll start there. Use a little bit smaller brush here. $30 minutes, we are halfway there, so I got 30 minutes to get the whole thing finished up. Start with a little bit of orange. And one of the things I've discovered is it look really neat when the colors just kind of all blend together. So we're gonna be loose with our color, and they're not gonna be overly concerned with like staining the lines. We'll say staining the lines is more of a personal preference. Nice part, I mean, it just looks messy, you know. If it looks messy, you know you're doing the right thing. You're on the right path if things are starting to look awfully messy. If you're questioning how messy it is, then you're probably nailing it. What you'll see is this is basically our midtones. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to build up my midtones, and we'll come back. After we have our midtones all built up, and we'll add our shadows, and we'll add our highlights, and then it'll all just take on a whole new life of its own. It's always got to look messy before it looks amazing. But where most people give up is when they hit the messy phase, they go, oh my gosh, this is just garbage. What am I doing? Oh, I've ruined it. And instead of pushing through the messy phase, they lose confidence and they stop. But if you can push yourself through the messy phase and then realize it's a matter of layering, really, a lot of the art is about layering, and then learning how to master the layers. Most beginning artists will start off with just thinking, oh, you know, just one layer of paint and the art should be finished. And that, fortunately, is not the case. For most artists, there's so many different, you know, styles there. For some people, that's true, and some that's not. I would say more than not. Here, I'll show you the glitter paints. This is one I did, a sample. This is a tester piece I did. So I did this test piece when I first started out, and it's got the glitter paint ink in. Not sure how well the camera picks it up, but for this piece, the glitter ink works really, really well. But yeah, this is one of the first sample ones I did to see, can I do this in an hour? What they're gonna look like. You notice there I also put a mat on that one. That's why for these I do put the taper on the outside border. Then I leave a little clean space so that I can mat them. Whether I end up selling them or giving them away in the future, well, yet to be seen. We'll find out. That just kind of gave him a bit of a face, didn't it? Let's see, what other color should we bring in with that blue? Kind of like it. Yeah, the highlight and details, W, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, just you push through and get through the mid, you know, the dirty phase. One of those highlights and shadows can just really make a piece. And it's not one layer either. When you think of highlights and shadows, you go, well, I mean, that's easy. That's just a little black in here and a little white there and you're done. And that's actually, I wish it was that easy. When you start learning how to master your layers and start building them up, you realize there's a lot more to it. And you can do, you know, 3 or 4 layers of highlight shadows, 3 or 4 of dark of the highlights, and 3 or 4 of the shadows, and it that's what really brings those pieces to life. It's that once you learn that ability and what works and what doesn't, you can put a whole new life to your work. Let's see. Now that color was a bit of a mistake. Let's see here. What are we gonna go with? I need to bring a little more color into them. All right, go with this. Oh, there's flamingo orange. Flamingo orange. I'm trying to see what color that was. I don't know, I haven't used this one much. I'm right, those will just add a little bit of color that we want in there. Just a little bit. We're gonna go over this whole thing in just a minute with some gray. And start toning him down. This is just to brighten him up some. There we go. It looks real muddy right now. That is definitely a muddy beast. Muddy, muddy, muddy. So we're getting fairly close to ending this our mid-tone layer is just about completed. Okay. Last part. For the mid-tone anyways, let's add in some red and rusty color. Let's do a mohawk. Red earth, one of my favorite colors. I may go back to some brown as well on that. Bring that brown back in the mohawk some. Alrighty. What have I missed? I missed there. Playing this number 2 a little bit. So it needs to kind of get color in there. A little bit there. And I think we'll probably just go metal tone in that. So we'll just kind of same thing in here. Add a little bit of color. $43. It's time to start stepping it up, isn't it? Step it up. Okay. Now we're going to start bringing it to life for sure. Here we go. Let's make it look like a robot now. Now we got some color laid in. Let's see what we can do with it. What color are robots? They're gray. They're metal toned. Well, let's bring that gray in here. And then the color we laid in underneath, we'll just start popping through and give it a little bit of color shift. Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to interact with you guys as much as possible. Sometimes it's difficult to look and read while I'm drawing, so don't feel bad if I ignore one of your posts or comments, but yeah. And keep in mind this is my day 2, so I got a ways to improve, right? But we'll get there. So I'm trying not to color the whole thing over gray. I'm just trying to hitting the main sections of it. And this will be the last part of the whole mid-toning. As soon as I'm done here, that's when we'll start pulling those highlights out and those shadows. And it should start looking pretty cool. Again, you can see why a lot of people get discouraged at this point. They look at it and go, oh man, I just made a big muddy mess. Nothing's popping off. It all looks the same. Well, just wait. Just watch what we can do. When it all comes down to the end, you'll be like, oh wow, it looks amazing. You'll see how it just pops right off. My favorite part is bringing those highlights in and just really pulling it up off that page. Starts looking pretty awesome. First, let's start the shadows. I like working shadows up. Let's bring in some color we haven't used yet. Since I'm using blue and I'm using red, a really good shadow color for both of those is purple. So I'll bring some purple in. I'll bring in some indigo blue, just a little balance that purple. And I rarely use black. Black is one color. Well, that's what this one is. I very rarely use, at least with acrylic inks. Now my paintings I use it quite a bit, but for this I prefer my Payne's Gray. It's a black with a real grayish blue hue to it. So Payne's Gray is my go-to. And let's start here with I'm gonna get a different brush here. A little bit smaller. I don't use a whole range of brushes. For most part, I'm using just 4 rounds. More of a liner brush, and then 3 size of rounds. It just kind of helps me dig in there and scrub what I need to do. So I'm not using any flats or any specialty brushes. These inks are real fluid. I just let them flow. And you'll see how loose I'm working. I'm just kind of like tapping the brush on here. I'm not particularly trying to block whole sections in. Trying to make the color feel a little bit more on the natural side of things. More like the shadow is casting like reflections on metal rather than just being painted on. If I painted whole sections out, it looked like, oh, he's purple there. That's not what I'm going for. So that indigo blue in as well. You can use all the purple. Okay. Ooh. Yep, I'm going over on this one again today. Almost an hour now. We're at 52 minutes. Yeah, looks like we're gonna hit my average. Just tends to be about an hour and 15 minutes. Hopefully you'll stick with me to the end. And see how the whole thing finally finished out. Okay, so we got each one of these rivets, so we're gonna put a little bit of purple. Actually, let's go a little bit more indigo. Purple and indigo, we'll mix those two together. We're just gonna lighten it up because I don't want it too dark. I want to just cast a little shadow on either side of every rivet. Again, doesn't be much. That way we go in and do our final touches on the rivets, the little highlights there. Oh, a nice little shadow underneath it. And if it is your first time watching, I'm not gonna always paint robots. Mostly paint robots. But I do a lot of animals, I do foliage. I may have a day where I'm just painting flowers. It depends on what painting I'm working on currently and what I want to work on or practice that day. But yeah, for the most part it'll be robots. But by all means, if you're gonna join here, find your own voice. If you paint portraits, then draw girls, draw boys, draw your cat, draw a hamster. You want to do a landscape? Then by all means, landscape it is. Hey Jason, how you doing? Yeah, I hope the music's not too loud. Now, I noticed yesterday's video the music was really quiet, so today I tried to turn it up just a little bit. But unfortunately, I'm not hearing music in my studio right now. It's all playing on the computer, but I don't get to hear it. So I'm hoping it's at a good volume. Okay. Oops, answer. Excuse my big head getting in the camera there. And me and my wife were talking this morning. I'm on the fence. Do I cut my hair or let it grow long? Can't do anything about the gray. Gray is gray. But it's been a long time since I had long hair pulled back in a ponytail and had debate on doing it. I'm on the fence. What do you think? Hair long or hair short? Okay. Here comes the fun part. Just about to knock in some highlights pretty soon. Just about there. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring some highlights in. Oh, and Jason, no peeking, by the way. I just realized you're in here and forgot. That's your painting in the background I'm working on, so don't you be... I'm sure you're trying to steal a peek at it and see where I'm at on it. It's coming along. It's looking good. 1 hour on the nose right now. So, yeah. So yeah, I'm a little bit tighter when I'm doing this, but I'm still trying to stay loose at the same time. Now I'm trying to stay a little more into the lines, but again, then kind of just bounce all over the place. Pretty much just scrubbing white ink over top of everything. It's just about the easiest way to say what I'm doing right now. Scrubbing in white ink. And I don't want to overwork it, but I definitely want to work it to the point where you're like, perfect, that's it. The second you'll know the second you're like, oh, that's it right there. Don't do one more brush stroke. And then I end up doing 3 more brush strokes and going, oh man, I should have stopped while I was ahead. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Okay, let's bring in my liner brush. Work in some of the sharper highlights. Oh boy. Yeah, I like this one way better than yesterday's. Yesterday's piece was pretty simple, but the nerves kind of get to you. You know, my first live stream was a little bit nervous, and today I feel a lot more relaxed. Which is probably a good thing if I'm going to be doing these live streams, huh? Yeah, it's looking good. This is what I mean by doing several layers here of the highlights. How when several layers of highlights and shadows can really bring out the work after you get those mid-tones built up. Because I can almost work this part to death and just get more and more detail. With every brush stroke I can pull out more and more detail with it. Touch that up just a little bit. All right, I think I'm just about to slow it down here. So there's got to become a point where you're like, okay, enough's enough. This is a 1 hour live stream. It's not a 2 hour live stream. Or a 3 hour live stream. Which eventually, if there's enough interest in this, I will be doing some longer live streams. Maybe even just live stream myself working on some of my bigger works, and while I'm painting a full-size painting or something. We'll see what kind of interest builds on this channel. And if there's enough interest, if someone will, hey, I want to watch you paint for the next 2 or 3 hours, then yeah, I can develop some pretty cool drawings in 2 or 3 hours. But for this challenge, you gotta stick with the 1 hour mark. Well, give or take, right? 1 hour-ish. We're almost done here. We're on the final mock-up. There we go. Let's go in here. So we're done with the acrylic ink. We're gonna stop it right there and we're gonna call it. We're gonna say we're done. Okay. No, we're not. Almost. I'm gonna bring some brighter whites up in here. One more deep pass with the white on the face. I think it just needs a little bit more. Need to pop that just a bit. A little more contrast. There we go. I like that. That's some real good contrast. Okay. That looks better. We can just do the same thing with the body right here. Just kind of pull a little bit of that out. Okay. All right, one more small pass on those rivets, like I said earlier. As I paint over them just a little bit. Okay. So I can see where they were. Yep. Tell you what, we'll come back to that. I gotta draw the rivets back on there, unfortunately. All right. Blow dryer time. All right, clean this up. We're going to use the Micron brush, an 08 and 05, an 03 actually, 03 not 05. These rivets back in first. One problem with this shaggy hair and my bad eyesight, I typically gotta get right up on it when I'm doing this part of it, unfortunately. Oh, the joys of glasses. Just for a little bit of character, I like to add just some real basic hatching with the pens. Just kind of pull it all together. Again, this is not the most important part of the painting for sure. But a little bit of cross hatching just adds a little extra depth and character to the painting. Or sketch, I'm not sure. What do you think? Is it more of a sketch or a painting? I mean, everything I'm doing is inks, but I'm using brushes. So is that a painting or is that sketching? I think I prefer the word doodling, huh? My hour-long doodles. Okay. Bring that number back out. Number 2. Okay. Hopefully it looks as good on camera as it does in person, because this is looking pretty darn sweet. Pretty darn sweet indeed. Okay, we're almost done. Let's finish this sucker up. Where's my brush? Last one I grab, of course. Start with the edge detail. I do, since I'm, I don't know, put a little line, kind of broken line around the outside. I think it turns out pretty darn nice when you finally pull that tape off. Kind of gives it a little border definition. And once you put that sucker in a mat, ooh, it pops. It looks so good. But I don't want to do a solid line because this background's kind of really washy. So I don't necessarily want a solid line. But a broken line looks just great. Just a little small element. And now we're going to go around and just give it a little pop. We'll thicken up some, not all. Some of these outside lines. Just helps pop it off the background a bit more. I'm only going to add these lines where there needs a separation space. In other words, just kind of back behind the bot, pull out some of these details so you can kind of come right up along the hairline like this. Just kind of shows a little separation from like the mohawk in the head. Let me see, I'll do just a little bit on the back of this antenna. This brush kind of goes from thick to thin, so I let it, I like the variation on the line width, so I push a little harder, it gets a little thicker, be real thin with it, and it gets real finicky. And again, the lack of perfection adds the character. Sometimes the more perfect you try to make a piece, flatter it looks. Ask me how I know. There's been a lot of paintings I step back and I go, ooh, it looks not exactly how I imagined it. Whenever I get a little too technical. It's a nice thing about this too. I'm teaching myself how to work loose and work more messy. And that's something, if you know my work or if you look at my other work, you notice I'm very clean. I like you to do very, very clean work. And I want to start maybe get a little more messy with it. And I'm definitely going to be pushing these ideas through these. Hopefully you can see in there how that kind of like just pulled that off the background a little bit. All right, I got a little more, one more pass for the highlights because we're gonna have to pull those rivets out that have not been put in yet. So they're pretty simple. Let's take just a white dot. Now the shadows. Actually, we gotta go back. Rewind. Forgot to re-add the shadows to some of those. So a little bit of purple, water it down. And make it a little not so watered down. And just a little hit on the back side of each one of these little dots. Just small element, but it goes a long ways when you look at the whole piece as a whole. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Maybe a little hard to pick up on the camera. Hopefully it's not. Again, I'm still playing with the lighting because I think I'm too bright and I think I'm getting washed out a little bit in video. Maybe next time I'll just have everybody come here and they can watch me paint live in studio. How about that? Or I gotta figure out a little bit better lighting source. And now I've got some real cheap little Amazon lights on either side that work great for painting and drawing, but on video they're a little hot. One of those things I think will get figured out over time. Almost done. A few more little rivets and a signature. Boom. 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 And there's those highlights. Oh wow, I'm definitely over time today. Oh well, time flies when you're having fun, right? But I better better speed it up a little bit. I got someone showing up here in a minute. Gonna be ringing my doorbell. Alright, this officially ends it right here. Alright, she is signed. Now let's do the final reveal. Let's see what she looks like, shall we? Let's pull this sucker apart. Yeah, I like this one. This one turned out great. So that's the fun and scariest part about this whole thing. You go into it going, man, I hope it's great. You have no idea. Roll the dice. Either I'm gonna love it or I'm gonna hate it. But I think this is a thumbs up. This is a love. If you think so, you can hit that thumbs up down below. Let me know. But if you saw the video all the way through and you saw just how muddied everything was in the beginning and especially throughout the middle compared to the final result, it's really neat how much it just ends up popping at the end once you start bringing those shadows and highlights in. Pulls the whole piece together. Boom. Oh, there we go. What do you think? She's done. Live stream number 2 in the bag. I think it turned out pretty awesome, actually. Here's another little note to myself. I need to not look down so much when I'm drawing, because if you've got you right there, I put a little person or a little something right there on the camera. Need a little guy just waving at me so I know where to look when I'm talking. Well, otherwise, you're looking at the top of my head, aren't you? Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Debia. Glad you guys came out today. Oh, Stacy even popped in. Hey, Stacy. Oh, there we go. Live stream number 2 is finished. If you just saw this video, you just found me, definitely give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. And hey, subscribe to the channel. Follow along. We're going to be doing daily Monday through Friday painting sessions. Which last about an hour is the goal, but sometimes we'll go a little over. I doubt we'll fall short. because I have a tendency of working longer than shorter. But I would really love to have everybody join me here and draw along with me. Again, you don't have to do robots. Flowers, portraits, landscapes, your cat. Anything you want to draw, any medium you want to draw in, just join me, draw with me. And until the next time, guys, thanks for showing up. Thanks for joining the live stream. We'll see you on Monday.